Welcome back to another episode of the Dallas Cowboys Report, Week 3. A really good win. I've been saying it, but I was at this game in person at MetLife, and it was a good win. It was actually a hard fought battle. I thought we were down at one point, kind of late in the game, and we had to come back, score points, and we never really looked back after that point. So the final score was 23-16 Cowboys. So we moved to 2-1 on the season. Put the Giants, they were 2-0 going into that game. So they're now 2-1. So we're technically ahead of them in the division. So that's already a good start. I was never really worried about the Giants in this division. I always knew we were better than them as long as we just played our style of play and played our best game. We could easily beat them. So I thought we probably could have even won by more, to be honest. We definitely had multiple chances in this game to get touchdowns, get more points, but it is what it is. We still won the game. That's all that matters. And yeah, like I said, we're 2-1, so it's a good start. For not having Dak for these last two games and to beat the Bengals, who are definitely they won last night. I'm recording this on Friday, so they're now 2-2 again, and they look like they're going to be in the playoffs and definitely be a threat. So that's a good win. And to beat the Giants, Monday Night Football on the road, that's a good win too, especially with the way that they've been playing the first 2 weeks, where they got two wins against okay opponents, but still one on the road and then one at home against the Panthers. Those are still decent wins. So to be able to beat them like that, it kind of really, again, like I said, I think we could have won by more than 7 points, but I think we kind of controlled this game, even though we were down, like I said, late, towards the end. Kind of in the third quarter, wasn't like towards the end, but we were down at one point by a touchdown. To be able to win by a touchdown and flip that score, I think is really impressive. And I definitely have to give credit to Cooper Rush. He's looked really good so far. And again, they're not asking him to do that much. You don't need him to be throwing for 400 yards, multiple touchdowns, deep bombs down the field. Even though I will say in this game, we definitely did try some deep bombs. We had three balls that I can remember specifically where none of them were complete actually, but it really wasn't his fault. I mean, there's one I'll talk about, but there was two where they were incompletions. It was honestly just really good defense from the corner. And that was where I was sitting. Those two plays were coming right at me, so I was seeing the ball in the air, the receiver down the field. I was looking at that side, so I was able to see. It was just really good defense. It was a perfect ball. It was if the defender misses that with his arm or it doesn't turn around or whatever the case may be, the defender just can't make a play on that. It's a big play. It's like a 40-yard play, and who knows, maybe they can even break away for a touchdown. But he played really well. I mean, 21 of 31, 215 yards, a touchdown, no picks, no sacks. That's credit to the offensive line. I for sure want to give credit to the offensive line because we ran the ball 30 times for 176 yards. And what have I been saying the last couple weeks? It's to just run the ball. This team can run the ball. There's no reason that we want to shy away from running the ball. I mean, you look at all the best teams in the league. Even if they don't have the best running backs, they know how to run the ball, and they can at least keep in defense honest, and not just be like, oh, they're not going to run the ball. We can have another safety. We can have another DB back there. We know they're not going to really do anything with the run. We know that our front seven is going to, or even front six to this point, can kind of contain them. There's no reason that we should go into games thinking that, with that mindset. We should go into games thinking that we're going to give the ball to our running backs 25 to 30 times a game. We have two really good running backs in Pollard and Zeke, who had really good games in this one. Pollard had 13 carries for 105 yards, and Zeke had 15 for 73. I mean, those are really good games. 8 yards per carry for Pollard and 5 for Zeke. That's perfect. I mean, think about it. If it's 1st and 10 and you're doing a run play, you get 5 yards. It's 2nd and 5. I mean, you have two downs to get 5 yards. That should be really manageable for this team, especially with a rush back there where we're doing quick passes, we're doing kind of easy things. We'll see what happens next week against Washington. Maybe they try and expand it a little bit, but if it's working, then don't fix it. But as time goes on and until Dak does come back, defenses adjust. Coaches are smart enough to know what the Cowboys are trying to do. But I think the counter to that is the run. If you could run on a team it doesn't really matter what their scheme or what they went into this game thinking that they were going to do on defense, because if you can't stop that run, it just puts a defense on its heels because you don't know if you're going to run it, and then you could do the play action off that, which we're really good at. That's the one thing we've always been good at, play action. And the only way to do a really good play action is to really hammer that run into that game plan. And I give credit to, Kellen Moore and the offensive staff for doing that, because like I said, I've been saying that, you got to run the ball in order to move the ball down the field, make it easier for passing plays and get guys open, because our receivers, they're not good enough just to get open on their own, like win a one-on-one matchup on the outside. So you got to be able to trick defense. You got to be able just to have your receivers, make it seem as if maybe they're blocking for a run and then it's really a play action and they're open for 15 yards down the field. And then that opens up the more explosive plays, which, like I said, he had a couple bombs down the field, didn't work out. One of them should have, but it at least opens up that aspect of the game. So really good game. And another thing I want to give credit to is the defense. Defense played great. I can't say any bad things about the defense. The one thing that happened was, Saquon Barkley had a 35-yard touchdown run. Missed a couple tackles on that, no doubt. But other than that, the defense was great. I mean, take away that touchdown, they're at 9 points for the game. They got 3 field goals. Can you ask your defense for more than just giving up 1 touchdown and 3 field goals and getting, I think we had 6 sacks or 5 sacks in this one. A lot of QB pressures. Daniel Jones was running for his life back there. So Marcus Lawrence had 3 sacks. Dorrance Armstrong had 1. Donovan Wilson had a sack. So, just a really good game from the defense. Micah Parsons, he didn't do a lot this game, but if you watched it, they were doubling him, they were chipping him, they were tripling him. They knew going to this game that he was not going to win this game for the Cowboys. And you know what? That can work sometimes in favor of us, because if you're going to double him and use a tight end and use a running back to chip him, that means other guys can win their one-on-one matchups, which is exactly what DeMarcus Lawrence did. I mean, he had 3 sacks. I can't even tell you the last time he had 2 sacks in a game. So for him to be able to do that, that's really good. Dorrance Armstrong, he's really come on these last couple weeks. He's been playing really well. So that's a good sight to see. We still have Dante Fowler. Anthony Barr can come in on some blitzes. Donovan Wilson, his was from a safety blitz. He's really good at safety blitzes, so I like that. I do like blitzes. I think at certain times you do need them, and I like when a DB can come off the edge, because you're not going to expect a DB to come off the edge. You just don't, and especially if you're sending 2 to Micah, that's already taking an offensive lineman away. A running back, if you're bringing a blitz, he's going to have to pick up probably someone coming from the A-gap. So you're not going to see that guy coming off the edge. I think it's a really good, game plan to do. And I think with Wilson, we should for sure keep doing that, because he's so quick and so fast, and he's a really good tackler as well. So as long as he can stay healthy, which has always been his problem, throughout college and even through the NFL so far, as long as he's healthy, he's a really good player. He is. He's good in the secondary as well. He's kind of like a ball hawk guy, but he's just like that hard hitting safety that you want. So that's a really good addition to this team, because now he's healthy. He was injured last year. So now that he's healthy this year, and when Jaron Kearse comes back, it'll be interesting to see what they do, because he might even play this week, Kearse. I don't know about that. If it's not this week, it's most likely next week. But in order to have them 2 back there with Malik Hooker, I like that rotation of guys. And again, Wilson, you could just use him as a blitzer if you want. He's just such a good tackler. But again, huge credit to the defense. They played really well. Despite that 35-yard run, Barkley really wasn't doing anything. He finished for 14 for 81, but again, you take those 35 yards away, he's 13 for 47 or 46, whatever it exactly is. So didn't really do much, to be honest, besides that run. Daniel Jones had a good game running the ball. He went 9 carries for 79 yards. I think that's just a product of, we were just getting to him so fast that holes were opening up through the middle, because we were really attacking their tackles and trying to bend the edge. So we didn't really have a spy in the first half. He got most of those yards in the first half. And then when we made the adjustment to kind of have a spy on him, I think we had Anthony Barr kind of doing that role, and even maybe Wilson as well. He wasn't really running as much, and if he tried to step up in the pocket, there was rather a guy in his face, the spy, and he had to throw it away, or he kind of just had to take like a 2 yard run instead of like the 10 to 15 yard runs that he was getting in the first half. So really good adjustments. Dan Quinn's been amazing. The fact that he wasn't a head coach this past offseason and he stayed with us, I think is huge because he just runs a really good defense. And as long as our guys stay healthy on defense, there's no reason that we can't be a top 5 defense. With the playmakers that we have and the schemes that we run, there's no doubt that we're not a top 5 defense. So just really encouraging stuff I saw. Kind of just going through the game, kind of by drive, a big play that happened early was we blocked their field goal on their first drive of the game. Their kicker's a really good kicker. He usually doesn't miss. He didn't miss besides this one in this game. 47-yard field goal, and we block it. Dorrance Armstrong again. He just keeps making plays, special teams or just on defense. I think that was a big block, to be honest. It led us on the next drive to a field goal, and we did get all the way down to the 3-yard line. So, of course, you want to punch that in. It's, 3rd and goal at the 3-yard line, but penalties came back a little bit. It wasn't that bad this game. There was a couple, I think we had a couple on the defense for some personal foul stuff. Again, that needs to be cleaned up, but that can at least happen. It's more so the penalties that happen pre-snap that kill us. And, the one on this drive in particular it was, like I said, 3rd and goal at the 3-yard line, and we get a false start. Again, those kill us because now 3rd and 3, you can still run it if you want to. You could obviously do a passing play as well. You have so many different options, but when it's 3rd and goal from the 8-yard line, it's obviously a passing play. So, defense can at least, they kind of know it's coming. Obviously, if you run a really good play, then you could still get the score, but if they know it's a passing play, it takes away, half of the plays that you could run. So like I said, it was 3rd and 8. We get an incomplete pass. We actually get a penalty, a holding penalty. They declined it, but we do get a field goal. So again, to turn what would have been a 3-0 deficit into a 3-0 lead, just like that, it's a really good sign. And Cooper Rush was able to move the ball down the field. The Giants defense, like I said, had no sacks. I think he got hit maybe 2 or 3 times this whole game. He always had guys in his face, but he wasn't really getting hit. And I think the guys getting in his face were kind of a product of the offense. It seemed like we were leaving some guys to kind of rush at him for free because we were just doing like a quick route right behind that guy. So I think that I saw that definitely a couple times in this game where it's like, all right, this free rusher is going to come at you, but just know that you have CeeDee Lamb, you have Noah Brown, you have Jake Ferguson just sitting right there behind that guy. You just give it right to him. We're going to get 5 to 7 yards at the minimum. And that's going to set us up for a good 2nd and 3, or even that 2nd and 10. That's going to set us up for a really manageable 3rd down. So, like I said, I really liked the play calling in this game. I liked the game plan going into it, especially with no Dalton Schultz. He didn't play in this game. Michael Gallup, it seemed like maybe could have played in this game, but he didn't feel right, which I think is the right move not to play. We don't need to rush him back for no reason. So if he didn't feel comfortable playing, that's fine. We still won the game, obviously. When he comes back, which should be Washington, this upcoming game, it seems like he's going to play. I think he's been practicing fully, and I think he even said he intends to play. So that's a big addition for us because he's just a really good receiver. He can take some pressure off Lamb. He could give, obviously, the quarterback another guy to throw to. It moves Noah Brown to that 3rd receiver where, he's been really excelling. He's our leading receiver, in terms of total yards. He's our leading receiver so far this season. So if he could be our 3rd receiver with the rapport that he has with Cooper Rush, that's really good. I mean, that's 3 solid wide receivers that we have in this offense now. Lamb I would assume Lamb would probably go to the slot. I guess maybe Noah Brown could play the slot too, but I like Lamb in the slot. I think he's a better slot receiver than outside receiver. We'll see what they do. I haven't seen anything or heard anything about the game plan or what they might do, but I'm definitely interested to see what the game plan is Monday or Sunday at 1:00 against Washington and where they're lining up because like I said, it does seem like Gallup is going to play that game. But after our field goal to make it 3-0, they went down. They went and got a field goal, and this next drive for us, I kind of just want to talk about a little bit. So we had Tony Pollard for 46 yards, huge run play. This was the first drive that Jason Peters was in, and right away made an impact. Nice seal block that allowed Tony Pollard to shoot through that gap between the left tackle and left guard. Kind kind of was making a guy go, which way, kind of a couple jukes, but really good run, obviously. Went from our 37 to their 17-yard line. Then we go 3 yards to Pollard. Jalen Tolbert, he was actually active for this game, our third-round pick from South Alabama. Didn't do much. I think he did have maybe a couple targets, but didn't do much. We'll see what happens with him when Gallup comes back, if he's even active or not. I don't know. But him for 4 yards. So we're 3rd and 3 at the 10-yard line. And this is what I was talking about getting more points. It was a blatant defensive pass interference on this play. Noah Brown, we're trying to do an out route to the corner of the end zone. I don't know if it would have been open or not, but he got tackled in the end zone. I mean, tackled. I saw it in my eyes. I mean, on TV, they probably showed replays of it too. In the stadium, they really weren't showing replays a ton of the time, and if they were, it was just quick. So, but I saw him get tackled in the end zone. Excuse me. Couldn't understand how there wasn't a flag. I mean, I saw our sideline yelling at the refs the whole next play when we were kicking our field goal about how there wasn't a flag. I don't understand. I mean, how can a guy 10 yards down the field get tackled in the end zone? I mean, that would have put us at 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. No doubt about it, we're scoring on that. Whether it's Zeke, whether it's Pollard, whether it's maybe a passing play, whatever it is there's no doubt we're not scoring on that. So I thought that should have been 10-3 right there. Instead, it's 6-3. So still can't complain with points, but it's just unfortunate that we didn't get the call. There's a couple times in this game where we just, the refs really weren't calling penalties on blatant pass interference calls on the Giants, and that was one of them. Next drive for the Giants, they go 3 and out, they punt. We get the ball, we get some yards, but we do have to end up punting. It turned out that on this one, we were at their 40-yard line, get no gain on a run, incomplete pass, and then we go incomplete pass to Lamb. And on this one, it was, and actually this was actually I think this was the drive with the drop from Lamb. Yeah, so I guess let me talk about that first. So we're at our 21-yard line. We get a 27-yard run from Zeke. Really good play. I do have to talk about this play, actually. So 3rd and 12 or 21-yard line. What are you really going to do with this, with the players that you have on the field right now? You want to get some yards, at least give yourself some more space to punt, try and pin them back a little bit. But we do an amazing play call. And I saw this I could see this perfectly the way they set it up. So Giants are sending a blitz. We do a perfect toss to the left to Zeke. Bring the tackles, bring the guards all the way out. Tyler Smith, another great game from him. Just the leading blocker, pushing people out of the way. Zeke gets 27 on that on a 3rd and 12 to a toss to the left. Perfect play call. Like I said, they were bringing a blitz on that one. We shifted them to the right side, went left, no one in his way. I think it was Lamb or Noah Brown blocking the corner, and then Tyler Smith was just bulldozing people on Zeke's way to 27 yards. So it went from our 21 to our 48-yard line, so basically midfield. Next play, drop back, Cooper Rush throws a bomb to CeeDee Lamb. Again, I saw this right in my eyesight. I saw the play happen. I see Lamb doing a deep post to the left. Absolutely wide open. I mean, you could not be more wide open. Cooper Rush could not have thrown a better ball to him. I mean, it was in his breadbasket, and he drops it. I saw the play happening. As soon as Cooper Rush threw it, I was getting ready to celebrate a touchdown. Because again, he was wide open. It was either going to be a touchdown or he was going to be down at like the 2-yard line. Because there was a safety like a couple yards away from him. So he possibly could have tackled him. I don't know. But he just dropped it. I mean, it wasn't like it was in front of him. It wasn't like it was a little high. It was actually right in his chest. And like I said, he dropped it. It was, for a guy like Lamb who has had a history of drops and hasn't looked all that great so far. You look at other guys like Jefferson who went behind him in the draft. He's obviously been amazing. It was tough to see because if he's going to be this wide receiver 1, that's the easiest ball you're ever going to catch in your life. And like I said, it probably would have been a touchdown, a huge touchdown there, because that would have put us, 13-3 right there. On a big play like that, it takes momentum all the way back to our side, kind of kills their vibe and their confidence going forward. So the fact that he dropped that, oh my God, it killed me. But next play, we actually get a 9-yard rush from Zeke. So at least we're kind of getting to field goal range. Then we get a first down from Pollard. Then, like I said, we're first down at their 40-yard line, no gain, incomplete pass. Then we try to go to this. We try to go to Lamb again. It gets tipped, but he still should have caught it. It was just a bad couple plays for him. Even though it did get tipped, it was still in his hands. He still should have got it. It would have been like a 4 or 5 yard gain, which would have been crucial because let's say we're at their 35-yard line. That's a 53-yard field goal right there. 52-yard field goal, I should say. That's a makeable field goal. Maher has a big leg. He's not the most accurate, but he's been pretty good so far this season with accuracy. But that's 3 points that possibly could have been on the board. We went from a potential 7 to a potential 3 to 0 because we had the punt. That point in the game, again, it's still 6-3. It's still early, but we're just leaving points on the board. Went from 7 to 3 to 0. Against a good team, you really can't do that. Against the Giants, you can get away with it, but that was just a bad drive for Lamb. Rest of the half, they turned it over on downs, and then we tried a 59-yard field goal. We missed. I mean, you can't blame him for that. It's 59 yards. He did almost make it. Again, he had the leg for it. He just missed it. I think he missed it left, I want to say. So we go into half, up 6-3. Again, I feel like we should be up by like 10 points, 10 points by now. But coming out of the halftime, they go down, get a field goal. So tie game 6-6. We go 3 and out pretty quickly, to be honest. And then this is where Saquon gets his touchdown. So it's 13-6 Giants. Just like that, they go up 7 when it seemed like we should be up 7. So I have to give credit to the offense and the resilience of this team to go down right away, 75 yards, 9 plays, touchdown. Huge drive. I mean, the fact that you can just go down, tie the game right back up with a touchdown, really impressive drive, to be honest. That's what you need. And think about it. This is Cooper Rush being the quarterback. Without Gallup, without Schultz. I mean, think about when Dak's back, when Schultz is back, when Gallup is back. Then we have our playmakers back. The offensive line is playing really well as a unit right now. The running game's looking really well. I mean, it just gives you a lot of confidence going forward with this team when guys get healthy again. And like I said, on this drive, we punched it in with Zeke for a 1-yard touchdown. This was right in front of me. I was at that end zone when he scored that. Bounces off the guy and then just tucks it in for the touchdown. So yeah, 13-13 tie game. We forced them to punt, get the ball back at our 11-yard line. We get the ball back, 11 plays, 89 yards, touchdown. I mean, back-to-back touchdowns on 275-yard plus drives. I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that, especially when you're down 13-6 and then you go up 20-13. Great drives. I mean, absolutely amazing drives from Cooper Rush. We get a 10-yard run from Tony Pollard. We get a 17-yard pass to Lamb. We get 4 yards from Pollard. We had Zeke for 2 yards. Then we're 4th and 4 at the Giants 41. 10 minutes, 30 seconds left in the game. Crucial spot. If we don't get this, we're giving them pretty good field position in a tie game. So if they get 20 yards, they can kick a field goal. And who knows, if they put a drive together, they could possibly get a touchdown. So big spot in this game. And then this is the drive where Lamb came alive again. 4th and 4, we go to him. He gets it by like a foot. He gets the first down. He catches it. As soon as he caught it, he gets popped. In the stadium, it didn't look like he got it, to be honest. But as I saw when I went back home and I saw it on like the broadcast TV, he clearly got it. But in the stadium, it really didn't look like he got it. I was kind of surprised they didn't throw the challenge flag. But like I said, when I saw the replay of it, he clearly did get it. So they would have lost the challenge. But so like I said, we get that 4th and 4, huge conversion right there. Then we go 10-yard pass, then Lamb for 26 yards. Just a really good play design. He kind of just leaks out on the left side, and Cooper Rush just finds him, trucks a guy over. I think he kind of had some aggression, obviously, for the missed possible touchdown catch, earlier in the game. Gets all the way down to the 1-yard line, and then we go to a fade to Lamb, and he makes a one-handed catch in the back of the end zone. That's the guy I want to see. I want to see that guy. I don't want to see the guy who's dropping passes and not making plays. That's the guy that CeeDee Lamb is. Again, if you've ever seen him in college, he was making play after play after play. Spectacular catches, runs after when he gets the ball. He's just making plays with his feet, making guys miss, going for 60-yard touchdowns. That's who CeeDee Lamb is. So if he can keep this confidence going, because again, this was the drive that I think he was 4 for 48 and a touchdown on this drive. Like, that's who he needs to be in the going forward. And again, when Dak's back, that should be even better. But he needs to be that guy, not the guy who's going 2 catches for 30 yards a game. He needs to be. He went 8 for 87 and a touchdown this game. Like, he needs to be that. And if he's that with Gallup back and Schultz and Dak, I mean, then the offense looks a lot better because the passing game is better, and then obviously the running game is in a really good groove right now. So get that touchdown again, huge touchdown right there. 2013, they go 3-and-out. Get a big return from Kavontae Turpin. Again, he's a weapon back there in the punt game and the kick game, but more so the punt game. We haven't really had that since probably Dwayne Harris. That was probably the last guy who was kind of a threat in our special teams returning. This one, we only do end up getting a field goal on this one, 5 yards, 4 yards. It was 3rd-and-1 at the Giants' 26. Zeke just got you 9 yards on 2 carries. I thought they should have gave him the ball back. They winded up not doing that. I thought they should have. They go for a pass play, incomplete, but we still get a field goal. We do make it. So we're at least up 2 possessions. Can't complain about that. With 6 minutes left in the game. Giants do come down, get a field goal. They get a 51-yard field goal, but their offense really wasn't doing anything. Unless Jones was like scrambling out of the pocket and getting 10, 15 yards, which, like I said, we had a spy in the second half, so he wasn't really doing that. They couldn't throw the ball down the field, and Barkley was pretty much bottled up except for the one run. So, again, that's just the credit to the defense and the way that they played. We get the ball. We do punt. We're at their 46-yard line. We pin them down to their 9-yard line. So in under 2 minutes with only 1 timeout left, or actually, I don't even think they didn't even have a timeout because they actually wasted one earlier. I think it was rather early in the fourth quarter or like right at the end of the third quarter when it really didn't seem like they had to take one, but they decided to take one. So they could have possibly had a timeout left, but they didn't. And 3 plays later, Trayvon Diggs gets his first interception of the season, and that's when I left the game. But that sealed the deal, obviously. It was perfect that the defense capped it off like that with a turnover. Only our second turnover of the season, actually. But, last year was more so like turnovers, was the kind of the driving force of this defense. This year, it's just the way they play. Like, they just play really lockdown defense. It's not just like, if we're going to get 3-4 turnovers a game and that's what's going to propel our defense to winning. No, it's just the defense is locking people down, which that's better because if the defense is locking people down, you can still get turnovers. If you're just counting on turnovers to win your defense, that means you're not locking people down. So I couldn't be happier with the way that we played this game. It was good to kind of get like a hard division win like that. We had to come back from 7 points down, had to fight our way back. 2 really impressive touchdown drives from Cooper Rush. And it was good to see Lamb get that confidence back because he was down. After that drop, he looked pretty down and out. But the way that he bounced right back like that was really big, really impressive. And like I said, we're 2-1 on our way to Washington. Well, we're home to Washington, but they're not a good team. They're not. So if our defense can just keep playing like this, we've held the first 3 opponents to under 19 points. I saw a stat that said that's the first time a Cowboys defense has done that since 1974. So just think about that. That's the way this defense is playing. They're playing at a really, really high level right now, and it should continue against Washington. That's not a good team. You can get to Wentz. The offensive line's not good against them. And our offense, again, run the ball. Run the ball. We ran for 176. There's no reason we can't run for over 120 a game. There really isn't. I mean, I don't see how there is. With the way the offensive line's playing, and, Jason Peters should play some more drives. I think he played like 3 drives this game. He'll probably bump it up to 4 or 5, and maybe he's just the starter. I haven't seen any news about that yet, but I'm really excited about this. And Dak, it seems like he's going to be back for next game, but I don't know. Maybe not. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But the way Cooper Rush is playing right now, why even change it right now? If Dak's not fully healthy, there's no reason to change it. It's not like we're losing games and the offense is scoring 10 points a game. We're scoring over 20 points, so we're at least moving the ball down the field, making opportunities available for us, and that's really all you can ask for with the way this defense is playing. So I'll see you next week after the Washington game. Again, hopefully that's a win. We move to 3-1, and then we face the Rams. That's going to be a big matchup right there, and then we go to the Eagles. So if we could be 3-1 going into these next 2 games against the Rams and Eagles, both on the road, by the way, we really need that. Because at least, at least we're 3-1, and let's say we lose those two games, we're at least 500. And that's got to be the worst case scenario. At least we're 500. But if we lose this game this week, it's gonna be tough. The Rams again at home against out on the road against the Rams. That's a tough team to play. They're kind of finding their groove a little bit more than the Eagles have been. The Eagles have been really good so far. But that's in the future. We got to worry about this week. And like I said, hopefully we go to 3-1, and everyone shows out the way they're supposed to show out, and it's a really good game. So I'll see you next week after the Washington game. Thanks for watching.